Well, we have lots going on at YFC, and it's all because of generous partners like yourselves that make it all possible. My name's James Coolidge, and I'm actually in my 8th year at Youth for Christ. This is my 8th banquet, so it's a lot of fun and so great to see so many friendly, supportive faces in this crowd. But very humbled in the fact that so many years went on before me, and so I just want to highlight a little bit of that. In 1944, Youth for Christ emerged in North America. It was a movement formed as a response to the needs of youth during a post-war era. There was uncertainty, concern, and fear about what would happen next. Youth were looking for hope, for a purpose, for a future. The next generation needed something that would lead nations toward peace, health, and prosperity. Those leading this movement knew that the source of this hope was not limited to man's best efforts, but would involve the transformation of young people's lives as they experienced new life in Jesus. For London, this movement started in the late 40s, early 50s, and then in 1963, 55 years ago, London and Area Youth for Christ was officially incorporated as a registered charity in Ontario. The youth rallies that launched this movement continued to grow, while more programs were created to address the growing needs among youth. In every engagement, it was the hope of life with Jesus that resulted in transformed lives, and youth finding a rooted identity in who they were in Christ. While today we are not in a post-war world, our postmodern social media information overload, rapidly changing world has created much instability for youth who are trying to navigate their place in society. To say that young people's need for hope are greater today than they were in the 40s would be an understatement. The barriers youth must overcome to access this hope are continually increasing, whether it be to institutional political correctness, confusion from media, or families who have been wounded by religion, or a growing spectrum of mental health challenges. Youth today have a very challenging journey to be able to access the good news about God's love and the gift of Jesus. As you have just seen and heard tonight, London Youth for Christ remains consistent in that we are still supporting youth where they are at in life's journey. We are still creating safe spaces for youth to explore and discover their God-given potential, and we remain focused in our understanding that we aren't the end game in a young person's life. While our programs and outreach to help and support youth will be able to help them, we believe that only Jesus can meet the deeper needs of a person's life and offers abundant life in return. Therefore, we have open conversations where youth can share and discuss with freedom who Jesus is and make an informed decision about Christ for themselves. Well, how is this all possible? Over this past year, we have had many ask that question. As you may or may not know, London Youth for Christ is not government funded, which keeps our accountability local and our mission consistent. Staff and programs are completely funded and subsidized through financial partnerships with people like you. Our challenge for this year's banquet, and in view of it being our 55th anniversary, is our goal to reach $155,000 in this year. Tonight, I am pleased to share that already $85,000 has come in, contributed by local business partners through banquet sponsorships. We're already over halfway toward our goal. It's amazing. Thank our sponsors. Therefore, tonight it's on us. Tonight we would love to raise $70,000 from the donations that we raise around the tables. And this is very tangible with just over 50 tables in the room. So let's each do our part to impact the lives of young people. Raising $155,000 will directly provide hope for youth like Ian as he discovers more about who he is and builds up confidence and identity that is rooted in Christ and not in a clinical label. Like Robin, as she continues to grow in her walk with Jesus and discovering all that means in living and fully experience the life that she was created for and not the one that society handed to her. Like Brooke, as she leads out in this extended family and continues to discover the plan that God has for her as she grows into the mighty woman of God that she is. And like Biamungu, as he continues to explore school options while he works and saves money for his future. Yet he knows that he's not alone because he has a community that believes in his God-given potential and is growing in that identity every day. So please pray for Ian, for Robin, for Brooke, and Biamungu, and for the many young people that they represent. Pray that they would grow in their understanding of how wide, how high, how deep the love of God is for them. Pray that they would fully discover and live out the potential and the life that God has created them for. And now I'd ask you to prayerfully consider what you would be able to contribute tonight. Our impact has grown, and our outreach to youth continues to expand. Last year, we were directly involved in the lives of over 2,000 youth. And with your support tonight, we will reach this and more youth through 2019. Thank you for being a participant in bringing hope to youth in our city. Let's give and pledge generously to reach our $155,000 goal tonight. And now, the check writing music.